Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious. I am super happy that you all are here. Wherever you're joining me from, let me know in the chat because this show, we have gone international today, everyone. So that means that I am talking to somebody that is outside of these USAs. I am super excited to be here, and I can't wait to see all of you and see who's joining the show today. So first of all, if you're joining me, let me tell you who is with me today. You guys are just going to be like, no, she's a legend, everyone. She is the legend. So today, I have founder and LinkedIn top voice, Stella Da Silva, is here with me today, all the way from Muscat, Oman. Yes, Oman. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Stella has spent over 20 years as a successful international trainer, an employability coach, and even a career coach. She also helps her clients to master LinkedIn and level up their CVs as well, which we all know super important. So if you're in the States, CVs, resume, interchangeable. But Stella has worked on numerous projects around the world and has built a stellar business for herself as a managing partner at Desk Park in Oman. She's a force of nature and definitely one of my favorite people. She's a natural leader. She's a disruptor. She is fun. Her energy is infectious. She's inspiring, and she is a successful businesswoman who thrives on making an impact. And let me tell you, you're just going to love this conversation with her. So please, I want you to show her so much love. Let her know how much we love her. Welcome, Stella, to Too Ambitious.
Hey, Trish. Hey, everyone. And guess what? Clappers in tow.
Hey, clap. I love that you got the clappers. Oh my God.
Always have to bring the clappers with me.
You always have to bring the clappers. When we first started following each other on LinkedIn, I didn't know what those were. I didn't know what those were. I was like, is that a thing? Like, what is that? But I see, it's the clappers, people, Thank you so much for joining me today. Tell me a little bit what time it is. It looks a little dark where you are.
Right, so it's a little dark because it's 8 o'clock in the evening here in Oman. So
Okay.
8 o'clock at night.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate it. We're going to keep this show tight because we know that you got to get your beauty rest. You got to take care of yourself. Wellness is super important. And listen, you got to take care of yourselves out there, ladies. But let's jump into it. You have such an incredible story, Stella. I know you're a founder, you are a coach, and you have a few businesses. Tell me in your own words, how did you get started on this journey? Because I know you were living in the UK, and then you were working, a job, and then now you're in Oman. So tell me, how did all of this happen? In your own words.
Oh my gosh, Trish, we'll need probably the whole night
Like
if I
2 hours.
went to
2
the
hours.
whole, if I went
Yeah.
if I went into the whole story. So I'm going to try and cut it short. But
Yeah.
basically, what brought me to Oman, believe it or not, is LinkedIn, the platform. That's what brought
Yes.
me here to Oman. I was quietly minding my own business in the UK, doing my
Yeah.
own thing. I was
Yeah.
freelancing at the time. I was a training consultant, and I was traveling internationally to deliver different types of training. I decided at the time, I only had one client who was sending me to all these amazing countries to deliver training. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need another client like this client. So where should I go to? And I thought, hang on a second, let me go and check out LinkedIn. Even though I was registered on LinkedIn, I
Right.
had registered on LinkedIn way back in 2009. But never did, never
Yeah.
did anything about
Yeah.
it. I was one of those that you register and then you go,
Yeah.
because at the time, Trish, I didn't feel that I belonged on that platform back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It was a platform full of the only way I could say it is white men in suits.
Right.
Basically, that's what the
Yeah.
platform was at
It's
the time.
true. It's
and it
true.
had recruiters, and it just wasn't a place. I just didn't belong. So I left it. But while I was doing this international work, I was thinking, oh, maybe I need another client, just one to keep me
Right.
busy with my other client and take me all over the place. I thought, let me come back on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And of course, the landscape had completely changed when I went back on LinkedIn back in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I started putting out content just like everybody else. So I had no idea what this content stuff was,
Yeah.
but I was just observing what other people were doing. And I thought, okay, it looks like basically you have to sell yourself in terms of
Yeah.
you need to let people know what it is you're
Mhm.
doing and what you're about. And I
Right.
thought, okay, let's try it. So
Right.
initially, I went about it. I think I went about it the wrong way. So I put on, I remember my profile picture at the time when I came back in 2017 was this formal looking in a suit type picture that I'd taken. And I thought, yeah, that's, we need to look professional, whatever that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, okay, let's leave that there. Anyway, and then I thought my content needed also to be really formal, whatever that meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought, hang on a second, I don't deliver formally. I don't
No.
dress
Yeah.
formally.
Yeah.
So I'm losing myself within this platform.
Right.
And, as I said, I use clappers in my training sessions. These
Yeah.
clappers follow me all around the world in my workshops to whoever it is I'm delivering, be
Yeah.
it to learners, graduates, corporates, the clappers are always with me. And I
Right.
thought, that's just who I am. And if
Yeah.
people don't like that, then that's okay. So I literally changed everything on LinkedIn. I changed my profile picture and I changed the way I communicated to my audience at the time. I just thought I'm going to communicate the way I am, i.e., being
Yes.
authentically me, right?
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
what I started doing. I
Yeah.
just started putting content out in terms of what I was doing as a trainer, how I deliver. I would share tips on LinkedIn. And before you know it, I just had a random DM from what I would call a lurker at the time.
I love
And she
that.
just said, you keep popping up on my feed. So I thought, okay, so that works.
That's a
Okay.
sign.
And then
Yes.
she said, I would love for you to come and deliver some training in SA. And I thought, SA, South Africa. I've never been to South Africa. I'd love to go and deliver training in South Africa.
Yeah.
Anyway, we jump on a Zoom and we're talking. And at the time, Zoom didn't, the audio, the video wasn't even working. So I was in
Right.
my living room in the UK, in, just audio with this lady, random lady from LinkedIn. And she's telling me about this gig in SA.
Yeah.
Anyway, we keep talking. And SA is not South Africa. SA is Saudi Arabia. And I
Oh my
thought,
God.
oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Not going to Saudi Arabia. We've just heard, the narrative in the UK, the
Right.
stories of kidnapping and killings and chopping
Yeah.
off hands. I was like, no,
Oh
thank
my
you. I'm gonna stay right here in the UK.
God. Okay.
Anyway, to cut a very long story short, I did end up going to Saudi Arabia and having an amazing experience. I was 3 weeks in Saudi Arabia, went to different regions within Saudi Arabia, delivered different types of training while I was there,
Yeah.
and still posting on LinkedIn. So I
Yeah.
was still putting content. Now I'm putting visuals, I'm putting photographs of me and my hijab, my abaya, looking
Yeah.
like a right little Saudi trainer. And I'm posting about what I was doing on LinkedIn. While I was doing that, I get another DM from another random person who's now seen what I'm doing in Saudi Arabia
Right.
and says, look, I'd like to meet up with you and for you to come and deliver some training. And again, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Um, but while I was in Saudi Arabia, I had a really, really good friend of mine who was a captain in Oman Air and
Ooh.
said to me, Stells, he used to call me Stells, he still does, and says, Stells, why don't you just fly over to Oman for the weekend before you fly back home? I'd never been to Oman at the time. And I was like, oh, no, thanks. I've been in Saudi for 3 weeks. I'm done with the hijab.
Right.
I'm done with the abaya. I just want to go
Yeah.
home, meet my family. He said,
Yeah.
look, just come home for the weekend. That's all it's going to be, the weekend. And Oman is nothing like Saudi Arabia. That's what he said to me. So I said, fine. So I travel to Oman for the weekend, have an amazing time. He takes me to all these amazing places. We jump on his boat because that's what captains of airlines have. They have boats.
They have boats.
Okay?
Yeah.
So jump on his boat, take pictures, and I'm still posting on LinkedIn. Okay. Have an amazing time. And this is what I said to Greg. This is one thing I said to him. I said, you know what, Greg? I wouldn't mind coming to do some work out here in Oman. That's all I said. Literally, I just said that to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, fly back home. This other guy from LinkedIn sends me a DM, says, would love to meet up with you to discuss an opportunity. So I said, fine.
Yeah.
Meet up with him. Okay. And then we're talking about this opportunity. And then I said, oh, by the way, where is it? And he goes, Muscat, Oman. And I'm like, you are joking.
No
You
way.
are like, why? I said, I've just come from Oman. And I said to my friend, I'd love to come and do some work out here. And here you are offering me a possible contract.
That.
So
you manifested that. You manifested.
I know.
You totally.
I manifested that.
Yes.
And what would have been a 3-month contract ended up being a year's contract. I was flying to Oman every single month, the whole year of 2018. Every single month I was flying in. And then my now boss, my lovely boss, Sharifa, was like, yeah, you're kind of proving too expensive to be flying you back and forth to Oman. How about we offer you a 2-year contract to come and work? With us at the National Training Fund. And I was like, OMG, this is just surreal. And that's how I ended up coming to Oman. So I took up the offer of coming to Oman for 2 years. 2 years ended up 3 years, ended up 4 years. And this is now my 7th year in Oman. So it's become a bit of my home. It's my place. They're my people. And yeah, that's the story of how I came to Oman, Trish.
Listen, that is an incredible story, and so what have we learned? So post on LinkedIn regularly, you never know where your opportunity is going to come from. And the other thing is to be open to new opportunities, which Yolanda had messaged us as well. And also to speak it into the universe. As Yolanda said.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And can I just say this, Trish, as well as posting on LinkedIn, what I didn't realize at the time, and I remember this so vividly, that I would be posting and be thinking, oh, I'm only getting like about 10 likes. And one of those 10 likes was mine, because I used to like my own post back in the day.
Yeah, like your own post. Yeah.
I always used to feel, oh God, my post is not even doing that well. But, the opportunities in terms of, it wasn't so much, about people engaging on the post as to other people also just, looking at the post and not engaging, but wanting your services. And that's when it really clicked for me, that it wasn't you putting up a post and you thinking that the numbers mattered. It's the content that mattered.
Yes.
Right?
It's
so
the content.
That's also the key.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I think a lot of people, we get so hung up on all the numbers and, whether or not you're going to go viral or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, the content is king, and you being authentic, which we know you showed up as yourself. You were very intentional about that. And it's absolutely paid off. When we talk about your transition from UK to Oman, what was the biggest difference, culturally, because, you're not Muslim, right? Or are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So culturally, obviously there's so many things, that are vastly different culturally. And this is what I always explain, even to people I'm working with when I'm even doing their CVs, that one of the key skills to have really is to be able to adapt.
Yes.
And I think once you even have that as a skill, as in you don't have to be taught it on how to adapt, I'm
Right.
telling you, you can go anywhere in this world. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm able to do. I've been brought up, you know, culturally, I've been brought up in Nigeria. My dad is Nigerian, my mom is French. So I've been brought up in Nigeria, I've been brought up in France, I've been brought up in the UK. So,
Right.
and the UK, especially London, is diverse
Yes.
culturally anyway.
Yes.
So I didn't find it any much of a problem for me to really
Right.
adapt into the Omani culture. It's just, you know, we've just had Ramadan, and, you know, the last few years I've actually fasted, you know, in solidarity with my Muslim work family, my Muslim community here. Again, it gives me a time to reflect in that month because it is a holy month, but it
Yes.
gives me a chance to also reflect about who I am as a person, regardless of whether I'm Muslim or not. You know,
Right.
so I do try and fit in culturally. Language is a problem,
Okay.
but, you know,
Yeah.
thanks to amazing people around me here in Oman, I try and, you know, adapt even to the language. So at least I know the basics. I know how to say hello, good evening, thank you. You know, so little words, I'm getting there, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
Arabic is not the easiest language to learn.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that would be my one advice to anyone always looking to live outside of home, so to speak, is
Right.
you need to be able to adapt, because once you
Absolutely.
adapt, you know, the community really welcomes you.
Right, and when they see that you're trying, you're trying to learn their language, you're trying to communicate, and I think, it's just a testament to who you are too, the fact that you take the time to fast with your community and, I'm sure they're like, "Thank you for that," you know? So, yeah.
They really do appreciate it. You know, they welcome you into that community. There, you know, Oman is it's a religious you know, country. They take religion very, very seriously. And I've learned so much, you
Yeah,
know, and it kind of, you know, the Muslim belief kind of aligns with my Christian beliefs anyway. So I
okay,
love having those discussions, you know, and I'm able to do so.
yeah,
And of course, you know, there may be differences, and that's okay. But
yeah,
as I said, I'm in their country, so I'm going to adapt and abide
exactly,
by the rules of their country.
yeah.
That's more than I can do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I love that. You're very intentional, you're inspiring, you've got so many people, a lot of your followers who are supporting you. Well done, Stella. Yolanda is saying adaptability is the key. I think, yes, all of those things are true. Now, what I'm curious about too is that, you've been there for 7 years, so you're still doing trainings. So what type of work are you doing there now? Because I know you do a few things.
So I work with, oh gosh, two amazing people who set up a startup here in Oman. And one of them was and is my old boss, Sharifa, and her husband, His Excellency Dr. Rumhi, who was the ex-minister of oil and gas here in Oman.
Oh,
So they've
wow.
set up a company called Net Zero Solutions. So I work with them, as well as delivering different types of training, mainly focusing on employability skills, working with different types of clients, from graduates to, you know, high level management, you know, who want help with their CVs or resumes,
Right.
as the Americans call it.
Yes.
You know, getting them interview prepped, you know, LinkedIn optimization training, customer
Mm.
service training, you know, soft skills training. I do all sorts. And that's the beauty of the work that I do. I'm learning about, you know, net zero, for example. We're
Mm.
working with green waste and producing what we a product called biochar. So that's completely new in terms of sustainability that I'm getting into, and, you know, again, learning new things, you know, later on in life, so to speak, and
Yeah.
going into that type of business as well. So, you know, I'm doing my work is varied.
Yes, but I love that, and I wouldn't expect that from anybody else but you because You are so adaptable, and so great at so many things. Of course, you're doing so many things. Gotta believe that.
I like having my hands in different things because again,
Yeah,
that's what gets me up in the morning. I don't want to do the
yes,
same thing day
yeah,
in, day out. We've done that, been there and bought the t-shirt. I'm sort
yeah,
of in my latter years career-wise, and I
yeah.
want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to love what I'm doing. I want to have a passion in what
Mm,
I'm doing. And if
mm.
that, if that's what gets me up in the morning, then happy days is what I say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you have to enjoy what you're doing in order to not only be fulfilled, but to find the success that you want. If you're unhappy doing a job, even if you're making a lot of money, like what kind of life is that? You know, it, it-
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
not worth it at
Exactly.
all. So I know that you're also the managing partner of Desk Park. So this is like another business, correct?
Mhm.
So tell us about Desk Park, and I've seen that. I'm gonna put it up on the screen too because it's a beautiful space. Tell us more about that.
So this park, again, I just have amazing people in my life here in Oman,
It's so well.
genuinely,
Yeah,
who, back in the day, they would have just been people that I know. But these
yeah,
are people that really have become family, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah,
We set up this space
yeah,
called Des Park, which is a
yep,
business center
yep.
in Oman, and
Yep.
to some former colleagues of mine actually
Okay.
from the National Training Fund and the Ministry of Labour. One of them,
Mhm.
just came up with that concept of, you know what, guys, let's just open this business centre.
Yeah.
And we found a space in a mall that was completely derelict. It was just gravel, and we just, came up with this, space, and we opened in 2024, January
Okay.
2024, and
Okay.
that's what we're doing now. So we have people come in, having meetings, they come and do
Yes.
workshops, and
Love
I
it.
deliver training from Desk Park. I meet some of my clients at Desk Park, so it's a really nice space, and people come in and they love the space. So
Yes.
that's what we're focusing on in building that space now
Yes.
in Oman.
It's beautiful. I love the space, and I
Thank
love the site too.
you.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. This is great.
And
So
I,
this
I, I, I so appreciate you just showing everyone the space as
yeah.
well. That's amazing. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Well, congratulations. I mean, it's no easy feat to start a business, but you started brick and mortar, with business partners, opening up a space. This is incredible, Stella. It's incredible. Do you ever take a moment and say, wow, this is what I've built? Look at this life that I've built for myself.
It's really amazing that you use the word wow, because again, I have that word literally in one of my PowerPoints when I'm delivering on CVs or even on LinkedIn. I go to my clients, I said, that's all a recruiter needs to say when they see your CV is the word wow, like literally. So again, sometimes even my business partners and I, we're kind of a bit hard on ourselves when we think, oh my gosh, what are
Yeah.
we doing? This is not
Yeah.
going right. We're not, we've just got a lot going on, overhead, salaries, this, that, and the other. But,
Yeah.
sometimes we do need to take a moment. And I think even in this week off that we've had for the Eid holidays,
Yeah.
it's given me a bit of time just to reflect on, a few things that I have done. I
Yeah.
am a bit wowed by the fact that, we have established a business center. It is still going a
Yeah.
year on. I am wowed that I pinch myself a lot of the time when I'm going into um, my other role at NTZ Solutions with my boss Sharifa and my boss His Excellency. That was always what, because again they are so giving of their time. These are leaders that I look up to. They're my role models. I'm
Right.
inspired by them.
Wow.
I see their work ethic, and I want to be that. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean? So when you
Yeah.
have those people in your space, you kind of
Right.
feel that, you know what? they can do it, and they encourage you to do it. They give us that, sort of encouragement to do
Yeah.
better. They're
Yeah.
very pro, really helping young Omanis build and grow and
Mm.
get them into work. And so, these people really inspire me to be the best that I can be here in Oman.
Yeah. Wow. You are truly blessed, Stella, and we have so many people who are sharing, congratulations on Desk Park,
I
it,
see that. I
yeah,
see that.
yeah,
And
you know.
thank you so much, guys.
Of course. I mean, I think that, the life that you've built there and you continue to thrive in seems, I don't know, it seems pretty freaking idyllic to me, like what a life, to be working and doing something that you love. You're working with incredible people, you're helping other people, and you get to live in a beautiful country where you're accepted for who you are. What amazing, that is truly amazing,
It is, but there's always that caveat of, it's come with sacrifices.
Yes.
So
What are some of those
yes,
sacrifices?
so the sacrifices are, of course, my family back home. I have a partner who's back home. I've got my parents, my sisters, my niece, my nephews. I feel that I miss on certain milestones, especially with my niece and my nephews. They're 10, 10, 9, and 8.
Yeah.
So, there's certain milestones. So when my sisters send me videos of them doing certain things at school, that I feel like, oh no, that's another, so it's another thing I'm missing out.
Right.
Those sacrifices,
Yeah.
it's a lot. And then people see the successes. And of course, that's what we try and portray on social media. But
Right.
there is a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
There are the hours that you dedicate on LinkedIn, where you are
Mhm.
constantly, trying to market yourself, market your
Yep.
business. You're going to networking events, you're doing stuff outside of work hours
Yeah.
just to keep things going. So
Right.
yes, there is that you live in this sort of like idyllic world and society and blah blah blah, but
Mhm.
as I said, sacrifices have come into play. Hard work has come into play. So
Right.
there's certain things that you have to balance out, and then as the years go by, you then think, what really does become your priority.
Yeah.
And, for me, pushing on now, well into my mid 50s, family is becoming really important to me. Yeah, you
Yeah.
look shocked. I am going to be 55 in a few
Yeah.
months' time.
Oh my gosh. You look
So,
amazing.
again, this is the kind of thing that, that you start thinking about a bit more and with a lot more clarity, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Adolpha is asking, Stella, how often do you travel back to London?
Good question. So, I last year I surprised my folks and my family by just showing up during Eid celebration. So we had a long Eid. So I just bought a ticket and just flew back home. I try to go back home for Christmas every year now. It's becoming really important, especially for my dad.
Yeah.
My dad is going to be 90 this year. So, and
Wow.
every time he's always asking, are you coming home? Are you coming home?
Yeah.
So I really, really do make an effort to try and be home for Christmas at least, and then try, if I can, possibly go during the year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, family over everything, right? So yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. They
I
mean a lot, and I've got a very, I am close to my family. I'm close to my siblings. My two sisters are amazing, and I really couldn't be here without their support. They've been so supportive of my journey, of my career, and I know that again, they've also made sacrifices for
yeah,
me to be here.
yeah,
So again, it's always difficult and emotional when you're talking about your family. It
yeah,
really, really
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I have my sister, my nephew, they come out at least 2, 3 times a year. My mom comes out at least once a year. So
Yeah.
it's always nice to have visitors come flying in. My partner was just in
Yes.
Oman a couple of weeks ago. So it's always nice having friends and family visit.
Yeah,
More than me
absolutely.
going back to London. They always want to come to Oman. They don't want me to come to London. So it kind of works that way.
Right, right, right. Yolanda is saying, Stella Da Silva, it's wonderful that you share all aspects of your life on LinkedIn. And I agree, you share, the good, the bad, what you're doing, and, it makes us all feel like we're right there with you. So, thank you for that. And thank you for that,
I
Yolanda.
think it's really, and Yolanda, I adore Yolanda. Yolanda is again so supportive, always, comes to my content, and she's amazing. And I
Yeah.
think it is really important that, you do open yourself out there
Yeah.
on social
Yeah.
media so people see, what the realities are,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of your personal, and there's a difference between personal and private. I always say this all the time.
Yep.
And So people can have a clear understanding of who you are. And this is where I know the word is always, you know it's always branded around the place, being authentic, but that's
Right.
what being authentic means to
Yeah.
me. What you
Yeah.
see online is what you're going to see offline, is
Right.
my kind of mantra, and that's how I
Yeah.
work. So
Yeah.
if I'm having a bad day, if I feel I'm having challenges, sometimes I do want to air it out. Sometimes I want, I want to seek help and support from my community,
Yeah.
even if it's just words of encouragement, maybe
Right.
words,
Right.
to motivate me. So I
Right.
think, I like to think I'm a fairly open book.
Yeah, I would say you are a fairly open book for sure, in the best way, in the best way,
Yeah,
um,
in
you
the
know,
best way.
in the best way, So my final question to you, Stella, is: do you consider yourself ambitious?
Oh my gosh, that is you know what? If I Going back to when I was about 15, and that time where we started thinking about what we wanted to do career wise, I don't
Yeah,
feel I was
yeah.
ambitious. And I'm maybe comparing myself to my sister. My sister is a criminal lawyer, and
Wow.
she always
Okay.
wanted to be a lawyer from the moment she could, I think, talk. You know, she was one of those ones that, what do you want to be? I want to be a lawyer, and that's what
Got
she
it.
ended up being. And not
Right.
only did she become a lawyer, but she set up her own law practice. So she's
Yeah.
true powerhouse,
Yes.
really, and someone I honestly look up to. So when I compare ambitions, I think, yeah, I'm nowhere as ambitious as my
Right.
sister, for
Right.
example. I've always been that one that, as long as I'm happy doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I wanted to be, at the top end of the corporate world, for example. I
Right.
never did feel like that, because I
Yeah.
didn't think that that would necessarily bring me, all the happiness, the joy, the passions,
Right.
apart from the money. Obviously, that always
Right.
counts.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, I would say yes and no. But funny
Mm.
enough, it's probably when I hit 50 that, again, there was just a shift
Yeah.
in, my mindset, that all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, actually, I'm still fit, I'm still healthy, so let's go for it. Let's
Yeah.
do whatever it is I need to do. So again, Desk Park was set up in my 50s.
Yep.
you know Me really delivering training globally, internationally, that was done in my late 40s. So
Yeah.
again, my ambitions, if you like, really were staggered over the years. So
Right.
I don't know whether or not I've answered that question.
You did answer it, and the answer is yes, you are ambitious. So, yes, you are. Listen, the fact that you have achieved everything that you have achieved, and a lot of it, obviously, as you said, is a testament to your adaptability and your openness, and the fact that you are willing to share parts of your life that many people probably wouldn't do. You have done the things that many people won't do. or wouldn't even consider doing. So I would say, yes, you are ambitious. And, a lot of people here are saying, Yolanda is saying, while ambition can have a negative connotation, experience teaches us that it is a positive trait. And I absolutely agree. Lamine
Totally.
is saying ambitious, stellalicious. And yes, I'm here for that. Yes.
I know Lamine really, really well, by the way. So,
Yeah.
our parents go back way back. So
Yeah.
Lamine and I have grown up together. And again, he's a Nobel Prize winner, by the way. So I get
Well,
people didn't know that.
yeah.
So he's amazing. So hi Lamine, thanks for being here.
Hey, so most importantly, everyone, follow Stella on LinkedIn if you're not already, because you will learn so much. You'll be so engaged. You'll be inspired like the rest of us. Shalom is also saying you're amazing powerhouse, Stella, a great businesswoman. Say it as it is, supportive and real. Proud to know you. That is,
Can
that
I
is,
just can I
yeah,
and
please.
again, Shalom is another. Oh my gosh, I can't believe all these amazing people are actually on here,
Uh,
because again, Shalom is saying that about me. Again, if you can get Shalom on, she's another amazing powerhouse businesswoman, okay, and has done so much and knows so much. And I love Shalom. Shalom, again, we're kind of related, family wise, and she is amazing. So thank
Oh
you.
my God. Okay, Shalom. I'll let you. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Stella. This has been such an inspiring conversation, and so many people are saying the same thing as well. Literally an inspiration. And, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit about you, and I think, I'll speak for myself. I am so grateful that our paths have crossed, because the light that you have brought into my life and into everyone that comes across you can never be diminished. So thank you so much.
And for me, Trish, I just want to say, I remember when we first connected, and again, you were just, oh, I remember it so vividly. And again, it was through LinkedIn,
Yeah.
because again, that's how people connect. And
Yeah.
again, it's blossomed into a friendship. I don't call people, there's certain people on LinkedIn that I just cannot call a connection.
Yeah.
Or someone
Yeah.
or someone in my network. These
Yeah.
are real friendships that really, really establish over a period of time. And then we've also got to remember that we probably speak more to our friends on LinkedIn now than we
Right.
do anybody else, because we're on
True.
LinkedIn every day, right?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I come to your content, you come to my content, where there's always banter within,
Always.
our communities. I get to know people in your community, you get to know people in my community, and it's just, honestly, I'm so blessed to have people like you in my life, professionally and personally. Seriously.
Well, thank you so much, Stella. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you and everyone for joining our show today, and, just sharing all your good comments. And, but I get it. Stella is Stellalicious and she's amazing. So, how can we even, I don't know how we can top that. So thank you all for joining me today on Too Ambitious. I'll be back next week with another incredible woman. Stella, we're going to let you get some sleep. So, we will see